We're at Nathan's house and we are looking at his beautiful aquarium. Nathan, thanks a lot for inviting us in.
Thank you for coming.
And I am stunned. I really like just everything about the tank, how everything looks from the outside and how it looks on the inside as well. So I'm thinking we could maybe start with just talking about high-level specification, then go talk about the insides, and then we're gonna geek out on the equipment.
Sure.
What is the make of the tank?
So the make of the tank is a Red Sea XL. It's a 525 and that's the second generation, so it's a G2.
Ah. How many generations are there?
There are 2 generations in total from what I know. There is the first generation and the second generation.
Very nice. So this, and sorry, this is 5-footer?
This is for a 59-inch in
right.
total.
Okay, so it's technically a 5-footer and it has very nice overflow in the middle. You've got, what, 3 radians on top?
So I have 3 radians, XR15s on top.
Which generation are they?
That's the last generation, which is the G6.
Oh, and did you go with the blue or Pro?
That's the blues.
Nice. I really like the look. How long you've had the Gen 6s for?
Well, the whole tank, the whole setup, it's just it's an upgrade from my previous tank.
Mm-hmm.
My previous tank was a 32-gallon. I actually had it for about 8 months. Just started in this hobby, so I'm pretty new in this. So I had the Fluval for about 8 months, and then I decided that I like this hobby and I'm just gonna invest a little bit more. And basically this is a 3 months old tank. The whole equipment, the corals, everything is basically 3 months old. Approximately. It's a little bit more. It's 3 months and 2 weeks to be exact.
And how do you like the Gen 6s?
I love it. Honestly, I had on the Fluval just regular lights. It was also doing very well. Yeah. But I love the way it creates the coloration for my corals. They're a little bit strong. I'm not used to lights so strong, so I get a little bit of algae, which after me looking online a little bit, I understand it's the ugly stage, but I think I'm doing pretty well with that.
I think so as well, and we are going to do some par measurements later on tonight, so maybe in the comments below, if anybody is interested, we'll reply what your par is at. Now, and you have also an Apex on the left and tons of equipment underneath, which we will talk about in a second, but let's, first of all, how long you've been doing reef keeping?
So with this, it's been, right now it's almost 1 year. Okay, so
anybody who's watching this, even if you are new, don't despair. This is the results that you can get, and they certainly show for themselves. So, okay, let's start with the Aquascape first. How did you come up with kind of these 2 towers? What's the background on that?
So honestly, I just looked at different designs online, the way people scape it online. I saw some people doing it like individual islands, and I saw some people doing like kind of just a wall of rocks. What I like focal points, so that's why I wanted to create one focal point, and I wanted to make sure that when I put the wave makers, so it's gonna create waves, very hard waves on top, so that's where I can put my hard corals and also put them closer to the lights, but on the bottom, as you can see on the left corner and the right corner, so you can see that I put things like that don't really need so much flow, like hammers and stuff like that, scullies and those kinds of things. So that's why I wanted to create an area so I would be able to keep both of them and also make sure that they're gonna open to the max, because I do see that a lot of people online, they just make the Aquascape so the way they think that it's gonna look nice, but they don't think about the future, because some corals, they like a lot of flow, some corals don't like a lot of flow. So I like when all my corals, the softies and the hardies, that they're gonna be open as much as possible and they're gonna be the happiest.
Yeah, having a mixed reef is usually kind of the hardest. It's a lot easier just to do a softie or LPS tank or Acropora, but combining the two, different lighting, different flow environment and conditions is definitely a challenge, but you are succeeding here.
Yeah, yeah. And I got a lot of help from one of good friends of mine, Reef Paradise, Dimo.
Shout out to Dimo.
Yeah, so he helped me a lot. I think without him, I would be with like 2-3 corals. But he helped me, he came over, he taught me where to place them, what corals like nutrients, what corals like less nutrients. So like that I was able to choose the way I want the corals to be and where exactly I want them to be.
And it certainly shows as well. So let's geek out a little bit on the coral itself. I mean, you've got all the torches, all the different kinds. I don't know too much about them. I know the more golden things get, the more, you know, crazy expensive they are. But like, are there any names that you can drop here for torches and torch lovers?
Sure. So what you're concentrating right now, so for example, this one over here, this one is a Holy Grail.
The green one?
The green one. Okay. So right now the lighting is like that, but if it's gonna be more blue, so it's gonna turn more golden.
Yeah.
So I got it from Demo.
Yeah.
I got a 1 head, and within, I would say 3 months now, I have 3 heads out of it. This one also, this one is a 24 carat gold.
Yeah.
This one also, it was 1 head, and now it's 2 heads.
Gorgeous.
This one over here, honestly, I don't know the name of it. So that's, I bought it when it was 3 heads, and now it's 5 heads. So that's also about 2 to 3 months time.
Wow.
The Scullies, I'm in love with the Scullies. I had a very bad experience when I got the, I like the open brain corals in general.
Yep.
So when I got the Welsos from Demo, I figured out that my blue tang, for some reason, he likes eating them like crazy. So he tear them apart within days. So I just kept playing with endophilias, with Scullies, just to find out that I can keep open brain coral without him destroying it. And so I reached out that I found out that basically the Scullies are something that he's not really touching. So that's why I decided to keep Scullies.
Yeah.
Again, if I'm gonna put them towards the middle, they're gonna be closing up. I put them towards the right side on the bottom corner, and they also closed up. So just kept moving them until they're gonna open up at their max, and I believe that this is the maximum.
So you basically just trial and error, you've been just trying a few things and eventually you found it.
Exactly.
And any other notable corals on that side of the tank that you know you feel passionate about? I'm sure you feel passionate about a lot of them, but which ones really?
So
these acons are nice, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
The acons are beautiful.
Yeah.
And I have another acon over here.
Yep.
Yeah, which is fully open.
It's gorgeous.
I also really love the ones over here on top.
The Acropora, right?
The Acroporas. Nice. Most of the colonies I get, not the colonies, sorry, the frags that I get, they're from a wild colony. Ooh. I do know that it's harder to keep, but I love the challenge.
And I like those polyps. They are really dancing out there. Like I'm really going at it. Everything is extended, and that's beautiful. Yeah. And obviously those gonies, the red one is just exceptional color.
So the gonies as well. So first they were on the sand bed, and they were open. But I have a very interesting guy. Which is a sand sifting goby, and he was burying them like crazy, so I felt like 5-6 times a day I have to clean them out. So I felt like it's a lot of stress on the coral itself and on my tank. So I tried to move them to the right of the tank, to this area over here, and they didn't open too much because there is not enough flow, I guess. So that's where I just kept moving it until I found a perfect spot for him. So some of the corals, like for example, that I really like, but they're fast growing corals, what I do, I put them in the back of the tank. So what happens, they grow faster, and then I am able to see it kind of in the shadow. But the ones that I really like, so I concentrate them and I put them in the front. So for example, if you look on the back of this rock, you're gonna see that there is a red DG.
Okay, let's actually take a look from the side. Okay, so now we've got the side shot, and you were talking about this DG in the back there, right?
Yeah, so the DG in the back there, so because it's a fast grower coral, so that's why I put it in the back to make sure that it's gonna grow from the back. So you're not gonna see it too much. It's not gonna take too much of the attention of the other SPSs. However, it's still gonna be somewhere in the background. So obviously it's gonna take some time for them to grow, but that's what it is. And on the bottom a little bit, you're gonna see right here.
Yep.
So right here, that's called a wowser.
Oh,
so it's not really doing great. This is the 4th time that I moved it. So I'm hoping it's gonna do a little bit better. Also, something that I did see with the SPS, and I did a lot of research with the SPS because I wanted to make sure that in the future, I would say about 60 to 70%, I want to make it an SPS tank.
Yep.
So, for example, if you're gonna see this one over here, the closest one, this one.
Yep.
So you see that it started to grow. So what I did for it to start to grow, I basically took a little knife and I just shaved the tip of it. And I saw that within a week, it started to already grow. So about 2 days ago, I took a little knife and I did it to every tip of every SPS. And now I see that slowly they're starting to grow. So that's another way.
That's phenomenal.
That's another tip for them to grow a little bit faster.
I love it. Okay, let's take a look at the other rock formation. So here you've got, let me guess, lots of hammers and Euphilia.
Correct.
So what's the vision for this side of the tank?
So basically, like I said before, so I want to make sure that the top, first it's more closer to the light itself. So I want the SPSs to get also a lot of flow. On the bottom here, I see that there is not a lot of flow going there. That's why I try to move the hammers all over the tank, and I gave it about a 2-day acclimation. And I found that this area is the least flow that they get. Because they get the least flow, they also able to extend as much as possible. So for example, this coral over here, this is Australia hammer. By the way, most of my corals are Aussies. I really like corals from Aussies because they're very fat and very healthy.
Yep.
So this one, for example, it was on the right side of the tank where we just were. And it wasn't opening up. And yesterday I moved it there, and as you can see, it's completely extended. So basically you just gotta move corals until you find their perfect spot. I don't suggest moving them too much because it's also stressful for the coral, but I also feed very heavy, and I make sure that I target feed. So I see their reaction. I see whether they're coming out and they're starting to eat, whether they're rejecting the food, and like that I'm able to see what their sweet spot is.
Phenomenal. So speaking of feeding, not necessarily coral, but actually fish, I want to talk a little bit about your fish selection, and maybe for them to come out. How about we actually do a little bit of feeding?
Sure. I'm gonna put them some. I'm gonna give them some frozen.
Beautiful. How often do you feed the fish? What do you feed them?
I'm crazy with that, so I don't suggest anybody to follow what I do. Everybody told me that I'm crazy. I like my animals to be fat. Same thing with my dog. So I feed, so I have an automatic feeder that feeds at around 2 p.m. I feed at around 4 or 5 p.m. I feed with seaweed.
Yep.
So all my tanks are gonna eat that. And then at around...
So you feed nori like daily?
So daily.
Okay.
Yeah. I feed nori daily. That's in the afternoon. And then after the tanks are eating, so they're full, so they're not gonna fight with any other fish, that's when I start feeding the frozen. The frozen, I usually put 2 cubes at around 7 p.m. And another cube at another 10 p.m. Sometimes when I'm not home, I'll just put 3 cubes and that's it. And then I have the automatic feeder at 12 a.m. again.
Oh,
so I feed really a lot. Yeah.
I thought about it.
But as you can see, they're always hungry.
Yes.
And my copper band is doing very well as well.
Yeah.
He's eating frozen. He's eating seaweed.
Seaweed eating copper band? Oh my god, okay.
I've got maybe 4 copper bands before and they all died.
Yes.
And I said, I went to Reef Paradise and I told Nemo, listen, I really want a copper band, but you gotta help me out. He's like, let's make sure that he's eating. So he said, it's gonna be a little expensive. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'd rather pay a little bit more, but for the fish not to die. So he made sure that the fish is eating and everything else. And then when I brought him into my tank, so I put him in an acclimation box and I basically starved him on purpose. And I took seaweed and I shoved it a little bit around his face. So at one point he just started eating it. I also put a little bit of garlic on the seaweed, on the nori, to make sure that it's going to open his appetite a little bit. And that's it. And he started loving it. And as you can see, he's a very aggressive eater right now too.
Yes. This is gorgeous. So you've got a whole bunch of other fish. Let's talk about that. Okay, which fish are your favorite? It's a silly question, but
my favorite fish is the copper band. That's number 1.
Okay.
My second favorite fish is the yellow.
Oh,
that's
he's gorgeous.
One of my dream things that I wanted always to get. And the third one is gonna come soon, which is gonna be the gem tank.
Ooh. Very nice.
And basically the purple is also one very favorite fish. And I have this fish over here that he's just shy all the time.
It's really a basslet of some sort, or what is it?
Honestly, I don't know the name.
Okay.
I just, love the color.
I'm sure my viewers are going to tell me in the comments right away, this is this particular fish, so please do. You got some nice wrasses, you got a beautiful pair of clowns.
So those wrasses, I actually got them about, they're a month old.
Okay.
They were about, I would say, 25% of the size. 25 to 30% of the size.
Really?
They grew in a month, they became monsters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they're gorgeous, and they certainly add. One of my favorite fish is the yellow wrasse. It's the
yellow wrasse?
Yeah, the banana, the chorus. And where do the clowns host? In that Duncan in the back there?
Yeah,
or?
so that was a funny story. I spoke to my friend and he said, you'll need anemone for them. So I said, you know what, let's give it a try. Let's see what's going to happen. So I caught them at night.
Okay.
I put them in an acclimation box. I basically closed the acclimation box as much as possible with a huge rock.
Yeah.
Something that's not gonna also drop the acclimation box inside the tank. Something that's gonna hold. So I just closed it as much as possible. I also put like a plastic lid over there, and I basically put that Duncan inside, and I put them as close for it, so they have no choice but swimming inside. Kept them for about 4 days, 5 days inside the acclimation box, and then when I took them out, that's it. They're in love with it. Right now, it just fell about half an hour ago, the Duncan, so it's kind of closed, but usually it's huge. That Duncan is huge. It has over 40 heads, 38 or 40 heads last time I counted. So both of them, they're just swimming inside non-stop.
I'm sensing a pattern here with forcing you know, the fish to do certain things, and eventually they just succumb to it and do it.
Well, you have to teach them.
Yeah.
I believe that, listen, we love animals so much. Me, myself, I can speak about myself. I love animals so much that I'm trying to do everything in my power for them to actually succeed, and it's also very beneficial for them.
Very nice. So you've got a beautiful Nassau.
I'm gonna give them another cube.
Yeah.
Even though this is gonna be the 5th cube for today.
Once in a while, it doesn't hurt. So
yeah, but
I love the cleaner wrasse as well. It's beautiful.
Yeah, my cleaner wrasse is very aggressive. He's very aggressive towards most of the fish, actually. I guess because he's just fat, so he feels comfortable. Well,
and I guess we are adding one more. You just added one more cube, so let's take a look at some of the shire fish. The long nose. What are they?
So that's long nose hawkfish.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So one is a female, one is a male.
And do they interact?
Yes, they're always together. Always together. About them breathing, I don't know. I'm not for it, but I know that they're always together. They're just swimming together. They sit together. Everything together.
This is a very eclectic selection of fish. I really like it. I think I would probably in any of my dream tanks I'd go for something very similar. And I agree with you. The copper band is stealing the show here for sure.
Yeah, he's always hungry too. So that's what I like about him. He's a pig, so it doesn't matter what happens. Even when the fish are full, he's just gonna go and eat all the food.
That is gorgeous. I love it. So what about feeding your coral?
So I feed my coral. So basically, I only use the Fauna Marine line.
Okay.
The reason why, because that's for me. I don't know, for some other people maybe it's different, but for me, I like to see what my nutrients are. So I'll feed very heavily, like Red Sea, and then next day or 2 days later, I'll check my nutrients. And then I'll do a water change, and I'll feed very heavily with fauna, and I'll check that. And then I'll feed with fuel, which I forgot the company name.
That's Seacam.
Seacam, right. So I'll feed with that, and then I'll see what my nutrients are. And I found out that my nutrients are way cleaner, way better when I use fauna. So that's why I decided to keep with fauna. So basically all my line is fauna. So what I use for fauna, I use every single day. I use, it's called amin, so it's amino acids, that every single day I put 2.5 ml on a doser. Then every 2 days I will use organic mixed with min S. So I will just put it in the water. That's no target feed.
And that's, sorry to interrupt, this is for, it's per instructions, correct?
That's
you're just following the instructions, or?
Not really per instructions. That's basically the instructions that I create myself. I think that works the best for me.
I'm thinking, since we're talking coral, how about we turn on the blue light and really get to enjoy the coral under the blue as we talk about coral nutrition.
So what I do, I put the coral dust, about 1 teaspoon, so like they say, and then I mix it up with a little bit of water, not too much, so it's gonna be pasty and it's gonna be a little bit heavy, so it's not gonna float everywhere. Obviously I stop all the flow, everything, and then what I do, I also put, I have some frozen food that it's kind of, honestly I don't even know how it's called.
Well, maybe I'll put it in the notes for this video.
Yeah, I can put it in the notes, definitely. So I put those frozen, I mix it with the coral dust, with the water very well. I turn all the flow off, and then I will basically feed them individually. So,
wow, how often do you do that?
So that one I do every 4 days.
Holy, so you basically based each and every one of them to make
Correct.
sure that...
Yeah.
Well, folks, this is what you get when you really pay attention to your tank, and this is remarkable. So before we're going to talk about the equipment, anything else you want to share just on the husbandry?
So basically, I do want my water changes once every 2 weeks, just to keep the nutrients a little bit down.
Yep.
My nutrients, I like to keep my nutrients always, the nitrates, I like to keep them between 12 to around 18. I feel that my corals love it the most. The phosphates, I always keep them at 0.12 to 0.18. If they're lower than that, I feel like my corals are closed, especially the SPS. Their tentacles are not as extended as they are right now.
Really? So
Yeah.
higher phosphate you find has direct correlation to your polyp extension or...
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
Okay.
What I also do, so if I don't have enough nutrients, so I use something called Coral Balance. Coral Balance, anyways, I use it. I do it once a month. So it's a powder that basically that you mix with water. And you basically pour it inside. It's gonna make your tank a little bit milky looking, foggy, and about 4 to 6 hours later it clears up. I would use as per instructions, and that's what I use them at. So every time that I see that my nutrients are a little bit low, I'm gonna put 2 spoons for my tank. If I see that they're 0.14, the phosphates 0.15, so I'll only put 1 spoon. And I feel like it balances the phosphates and the nitrates very, very well. It also, for some reason, I don't know why, it also removes some of my nitrates sometimes when they're too high. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not, but I figured out that that's what it does for me. Also for my acans and for my scullies, which I'm in love with my scullies. So for my scullies, I will give them sometimes a special treat. So once every week, I'm gonna put also from Fauna. It's called pellets.
Yep.
So I'm gonna drop maybe about 3 to 4 pellets in each scully, and they're gonna
right?
start absorbing it like crazy.
How do you make sure that the fish doesn't come and steal?
So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put some food in one corner for the fish. Once I see that they're busy, I'm gonna drop it inside the scullies.
Yep.
Or sometimes if I see that they're too hungry and I didn't feed them, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put some liquid like the powder, the coral dust. So I'm gonna put it in the scullies. Once they open their mouth, before they start closing, I'm just gonna drop a few pellets so they close right away. So they're not gonna, so the fish are not gonna have a chance to grab it.
I love all those little tips. So
again, for me, I work in the summertime, and in the winter time I don't work, so I have time to deal with with this in the winter time.
That's phenomenal. And what salt do you use?
So, like I said, I use everything Fauna.
Wow.
So my salt is Fauna, all my things are Fauna, everything, like starting from the balling kit, which is alk, magnesium, calcium, everything is Fauna.
I think this tank should be heavily featured on Fauna social media.
Yeah, so Fauna posts a lot of my stuff. If you don't mind, Dimitri, I'm gonna also share with the viewers my Instagram page.
Oh, for sure. We'll have a link in the comments below. So
if somebody wants extra tips, or somebody wants to look at a little bit more things, so they can take a look, and they can also see that Fauna actually, they offered me a sponsorship for me to sponsor them. So basically they told me that I'll have to use extremely like their only stuff, and that I'm gonna have to do videos and stuff like that and send it to them, but it's just a lot of headaches because they want me to put a camera on and they want me to do editing and stuff like that, so I decided not to do it. So yeah, but other than that, I use a lot of things from Fauna and I really love it, and I always offer using Fauna to everybody.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to be doing videos and editing and social and whatnot, so I certainly can understand, but you direct all that attention and take all that time into your tank, and that shows. So before we're going to go into equipment, I just want to point out one thing, and that is, if I could say, put one word about this aquarium, I would say it's meticulous. Like everything is just so clean. I can even, you know, I try to be clean, but like my glass would have a little bit of streaks over here, or somewhere in the back I'd have a spot, and you, my friend, just got everything more or less under control. Like even behind, like if we take a peek, you know, we're not gonna find you know, necessarily a lot of places that you haven't been or haven't thought of. And this is still it's a new tank. It's only 3 months old, so give it a year. Oh, it's gonna be spectacular.
Thank you. I try to do my best. Yes, I am a clean freak, and Demo from Reef Paradise always makes fun of me that I come to his shop and sometimes I'll say your glass is not clean, so I'm not buying corals from you today. So, yeah, I'm a clean freak when it comes to this thing, because again, it's my hobby and I really love it. So I believe if you love your hobby, doesn't matter what you do,
yeah.
But if you really love it, you're gonna succeed, and you're just gonna keep everything clean. But if you're just doing things just to basically waste time, so I feel like people don't really invest so much time and so much effort into their things. And I've seen tanks that they're brand new, like I follow after a lot of people on Instagram, and I see tanks that they're brand new and they look awful,
yeah,
because people just don't care, and once they reach the ugly stage, they just say, you know what, that's it.
They give up.
Yeah, they give up, and I see people that they're doing very, very, very well.
Okay, let's take a look at the equipment. I guess first let's look outside. So the fan is, I guess, to manage a little bit of evaporation and the heat.
The heat, because I have crazy heat. It used to reach to around 82, 83 degrees Fahrenheit, so I had to use a fan.
And what do you run your parameters at when it comes to temperature, for example?
So my temperature is 78
yeah.
To 78.5.
Okay, so you believe in a little bit more of a warmer reef, I guess?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we can definitely see your alk, calcium, magnesium.
Yeah.
You got the Trident, you've got the dosing by Apex, right? So,
correct.
So first of all, for anybody who's using Apex, like, I mean, this is phenomenal, right? Because I find that if you're looking at this tank, it does not detract from the view and the experience of the tank. If anything, it just kind of complements that. And every time you walk by, you can actually see all the parameters, and just one more glance is always helpful, right?
Yeah, and actually the pipefish came out.
Yeah, let's geek out on that. Ooh, this is the new edition, right?
Yeah, this is a new edition. He's doing actually very well. He's eating like crazy. I've never seen, I had like 4 pipefish before and they died. He's eating very well. And
you've got the saline sifting goby in the back there, right?
Yeah, he's a monster. I'm trying to catch him to remove him from the tank.
Oh yeah, why?
He's burying my corals. Every day he's burying my corals. And I wanted to remove him from the tank and put a smaller one.
Okay.
But he doesn't let me, so I said, okay, if he really wants to stay here, I guess let him stay there. I also have the Monty over there.
Yes. Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's 2 different colors.
Nice.
The Monty cap right where they are on the bottom.
Oh, I see. It's a hologram or a grafted Monty.
It's a grafted Monty.
I gotcha. So nice.
So I put it in the back. So slowly, so it's gonna grow and create like a 3D effect.
Phenomenal. So you've got auto top off over here, right?
Yeah.
It's a custom.
It's a custom.
How many? Let me guess. It's it should be 40 gallons.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Really? So
40
okay,
gallons.
I've been in this hobby for too long. If I can eyeball the. So this is beautiful.
Thank you.
And it's gonna last you probably what at least 3 weeks. I'm thinking. No?
This is about 3 weeks, yes. I also take the water from there for water changes. That's why there is a pump inside.
Okay.
And there is also the hose, so I will just pull it out when I need.
Yeah.
Also, there is a solenoid valve, and there is
the sensor.
The sensor, so even if I'm not around, so it's going to stop the water when it reaches that. I still have to install the other sensor, so in case one fails, the other one is going to stop it. That's basically, and I'm still waiting. I should get it probably this week or next week. So this area is going to be closed with the white melamine, and also like the top as well. So this is going to become a testing table and stuff like that. And then when I need to fill this up, I'm just going to remove the top and put it. So it's going to have a continuation of this white melamine.
I love it. You are thinking about the future when it comes to that.
Underneath the tank, we have the sump.
Yep.
Let me just put the lights on.
Nice.
So I have the skimmer, which is the Nios. I love the Nios. Honestly, I had a problem with my first Nios. I called them. With the skimmer, I called them. I let them know. They told me to contact Bulk Reef Supply. I told them about the problem, and they said no problem, we're gonna send you a brand new one. So they sent me a brand new one without any issues, without any questions, without nothing.
Great service.
This is basically a pH reactor. Also from Fauna. I believe it's from Fauna. Yes, it is from Fauna.
What does it do?
It basically raises the pH naturally. So I'm gonna show it to you after in the back.
Excellent.
This one is the Tanzi water controller for the...
it's an osmolator, right? So this is the raw top off. Shout out to Tanzi. Okay.
This one is the Aqua...
Sterilizer, right?
Sterilizer. It's a UV sterilizer.
It's a huge one.
It's a 47 watts. Basically, this is their reef mat. That I love it.
Really?
I do feel that it's still, because the tank is brand new, so it ends really quick. So I buy...
And you feed a lot, so...
so I feed a lot, but I change it, literally, I change a mat every about 2 weeks, which is a lot. On the bottom here, I'm still waiting for my reactor. I should have the reactor from Nios that I ordered. But on the bottom here, I put the phosphate removal and the carbon. Also Fauna. I use everything from Fauna, so I put it underneath here. Here I have the dosing, and here I have a power head, which is a cheap power head from Amazon, 20 bucks. And I have one here as well.
This is just to bring up, so there's no detritus.
Exactly.
So, nice. So you don't need to clean the sump as often.
Right.
So, okay.
The rocks I'm gonna get rid of. The rocks I had to put in the beginning because it's a brand new tank. And I just dumped all the corals right inside. So from the first day that I installed it, 2 days later I started putting corals and fish, so I didn't let it cycle. That's why I took all the rocks from my fluval and I just put it here. And then I put these Siporax. So I put 6 liters, so slowly they're gonna start mixing. And basically I feed it with a lot of coffee pods. So right on the first week I put about 6 bottles of coffee pods.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna have enough for mandarins or something that I'm gonna choose in the future.
I'm sure there's going to be mandarin in your...
For sure.
in your future. Wow, okay. And then this is your, I guess, dosing containers?
And this
is all Fauna.
Everything Fauna.
Nice.
So I have my dosing containers here. This is my Trident. So...
How do you like your Trident? I just got mine recently and it's phenomenal.
I love it. It's one of the best things I believe that's one of the best things they created. As you can see, I have 2 dosers over there. I also have another doser that I keep as a backup in case one fails. That's still inside the box. This is all the things for Fauna. So this is the organic and the main S. I use them combined. So I will show it.
Do you think we can actually take all of this out and look at each and every one of them?
Sure.
So while you do this, I just want to do a shameless plug. I love your caddies. This is the only way to organize your Hana test kits. This is treasurecorals.com. Check it out. And while you're taking it out, I want to also show those visors. These visors are also from treasurecorals.com. Check them out as well. You got the half as well as the full versions. What an exceptional reef. I'm really impressed with everything about it. Just look at how meticulous everything is laid out. You've got healthy corals, healthy fish, beautiful pairing with equipment. I love how it's going to look with the white laminate for the water reservoir. So it's neat. Okay, so we've got, how many battles do you think there's? There's like 20 or something.
There's a whole bunch, and I still have a lot of bunch in my fish room.
Okay, so what do we got? Nori,
so the nori,
fish.
Yeah, so what I do is basically I take a little container. I'm gonna show it.
I'd love to see this.
I always keep the container in the fridge, so it's not gonna go bad. So basically what I do is inside a container, I cut them to squares.
Yes.
So I put one of this, one of this, one of this, one of this, in between of each. So I'll put one nori of the purple, one nori of the green.
Yes.
Before I'll put the green on top of it, I'm gonna put a few drops of this.
Yes. This is garlic.
This is garlic,
okay.
Very intense garlic from Fauna, and I tried from different companies. This is very intense. It's a bit pricey, but because it's so intense, so you don't need to use a lot.
And smells like crazy. So,
yeah, and this is also Fauna. This
food
is
energizer.
Energizer. So this is basically the multivitamins for the fish. So I'll just do that, and I'll keep it in here, and every time I need, I'll just pull it out and put it on the clip for them to eat. And I feel like they love it because of the smell. This is just the Fritz glass cleaner.
This is just so you keep the tank nice and clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I find
don't put it inside, put it outside, right? So
I put it on outside only.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll put it on a little bit of a paper towel, and I'll just clean the glass from the inside. But I feel like this product itself, compared to, for example, if you'll use Windex or something like that, this is a little bit pricier, so you'll have to use more of it as well. But however, this is the best because it doesn't raise your ammonia, and it also says ammonia free, and I tested it myself. And also what I like about this itself, that it will not create so much salt accumulation.
Okay.
So that's why I like this. Once a week, I will put the Bacto blend and Bacto therapy.
Ooh, so bacteria, right?
Bacteria, once a week.
What is the difference between the two?
So it's just different kinds of bacteria.
Okay, I got you.
Just different kinds of bacteria. And I have on a doser over there, I have the Bacto Energy, which is the food for the bacteria itself. And it also drops your phosphates and nitrates, so it helps combine everything. So
I gotcha.
That's on a doser. I will put about 2.5 mil per day, and I have a Camor doser, so just a cheap doser, and it does it automatically.
Phenomenal.
Every day. Then I have the Color Elements, which I do once a week as well.
Yeah, I have all three as well. So
yeah, so I love it when I just dose it. I remove all the water from there. Basically, I stop the flow, I stopped everything. I will put them for about 5 minutes, and then I will start all the flow except the
skimmer.
No, except the
the pump, right?
The pump, so, except the pump. And I will give it another 15 minutes, so it's going to mix well inside the tank, and then I'll turn everything on. It's on a timer automatically. And what I see right away, within the next hour, you're going to see a beautiful, intense colors for the corals itself.
That's incredible.
So that's why I love it. This one is, I'll just put it for my automatic feeder. This is just a regular food that I really love. And this one I just bought to try it out. I really like the Hikari company.
Yes,
because it's clean. So I will just mix between, and that's it.
Okay.
So that's that. The flakes also I will put maybe twice a week, just to give them a little bit of a different food.
Yes.
So that's the coral.
Spice of life. Okay.
Yeah.
Coral
that's
sprint.
The coral sprint that I was talking about. Like I said, I feed very heavy. The corals and the fish. That's why you will always see the big bottles.
Yes.
That's Bactobulls, so that's another bacteria that I will put about 10 balls into a little bag. It's gonna go in the sump, and it's gonna go right beside my wave makers from Amazon. So it's gonna spread it, and I basically replace the balls about once every 2 weeks.
So you team fauna like no tomorrow.
No tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the organics, so the Mines and the organic. So I will mix both of them combined.
Yes.
Okay, for the corals. And yeah, and I feel like they love it. They love it like no tomorrow.
Yes, that looks really good.
That's Robiotics.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that one.
So that's another sort of bacteria. So basically the way they use it is they will put about 1 tablespoon, sorry, 1 spoon. They'll put it with about 1 liter of water. I mix it well. I leave it outside for about an hour, and then obviously within the time I'm gonna mix it a little bit more, in the water bottle, and then I'll spill it inside. Once I spill it inside, I will turn off my skimmer for 6 hours, and I will turn off my UV sterilizer for 48 hours. So just for the probiotics to start working.
To take place.
Yes.
Right? So, okay.
In the same time, when I do that, I will dose a little bit more of the Back to Energy manually, maybe another 1 mil extra. Then I have the Coral Balance. That's the one that I was talking about. So that balances your phosphates and nitrates.
Yep.
Okay. And then that's the little treat that I use
this is for scollies.
For scollies, mainly for scollies.
Yeah.
So that's.
I think that picture looks almost the same as this guy over here. So yeah, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then I have a dip also from Fauna.
This is where you dip your coral that you get.
Correct.
So nice.
Correct.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow, I am overwhelmed, to be honest with you. This is so much to take in. I feel that I'm even myself going to rewatch this video a few times just to let it all sink in. But Nathan, thank you so much for having us over, showing us the fruit of your labor, fruit of your love. Like, I mean, you can actually see the love behind stuff that went into this aquarium. This is great. And folks, please check out the Instagram. I'm sure you're gonna get quite a few followers after this video airs. And anybody who has any questions, please write them in the comments below. I'll make sure that either me or Nathan are gonna answer them. And with that said, maybe we'll see you in 6 months to see the progress of the tank.
Amazing. Thank you very much for coming, for taking your time, taking a look at my tank that I invest my time and energy into it. And thank you everybody for watching.
Cheers.